What is going on YouTube? And welcome back to my channel, JoJo Speaks. Thank y'all so much for joining me this evening. This being my Hot Topics and Social Commentary 8 p.m. live. Thank y'all so much for being here. I'm so honored that you've decided to spend your 8 p.m. hour on a Thursday night avec moi. I am JoJo Speaks from Faithful Warrior Ministries. A couple things I want you guys to do before we get started. Be sure to subscribe to my channel. Press that big red subscribe button. It is free and easy to do. Takes less than a second to mash that thing. So why don't you go ahead and mash it for a brother? Also, be sure to give us a thumbs up on this video. Let me know you're enjoying the content that I'm putting out on my channel. Be sure to leave a comment. Let me know your thoughts on the hottest of topics that we're discussing on tonight. Be sure to press the notification bell so you're notified every time I post a new video. Last but not least, be sure to share JoJo Speaks with all your family, friends, and loved ones. Let everybody know that JoJo Speaks is out here in these YouTube streets. Quick announcement. I put out a review for the Real Housewives of Atlanta season 16, episode 8, I believe. I put out a review for that earlier this week, so be sure to check that out. Give me a thumbs up on it and give me your comments on it as well. We will be discussing a little bit of it tonight, but my full review is on my channel. Also, tomorrow I will be posting a review for Survivor, the most recent episode of Survivor. Just watched it with my mom earlier today, so be sure to be looking out for that video. Should be coming up by tomorrow. Should be coming up before 5 p.m. Should be posted before 5 p.m. But so glad that you guys are with me. Jennifer will be joining us momentarily. A couple things I wanted to get out the way really quickly. Meg Thee Stallion has announced that she will be opening her own Popeyes restaurant. She already got the hottie sauce with Popeyes. I guess that's a hot sauce. I'm not sure. I'm not big on hot sauce personally. I don't like the spicy food. I can't get with it. But congratulations to Meg Thee Stallion. She's having her own restaurant. I don't know if you would call that a franchise. Maybe you call that a franchise. Y'all correct me in the bottom, down in the comments. But yeah, so happy for Meg and what she's doing. Also, the Cowboy Carter tour kicked off this week. The first show was in Los Angeles, and I'm so tongue-tied. Beyonce's two daughters, Blue Ivy and Rumi. Her name is spelled Rumi. Rumi, both of them joined her on the stage. I still haven't seen her son yet. I can't remember seeing his face yet. I really want to see what Beyonce's son looks like. But you know, Blue Ivy is doing all the choreo. I've seen quite a few TikToks of her on stage. I'm loving the Cowboy Carter outfits. I'm loving it. I haven't gotten a really good shot of the stage. I'm really big on stage. It's like, for instance, my favorite part of watching wrestling is to watch the entrances because I love to see what the stage looks like. And I also love to see the stage of concerts. And so I've seen a couple of pictures, but I just want to get a full view of what the Cowboy Carter stage looks like. But Blue Ivy is killing it on that stage. And I can tell you that it is so amazing to see Blue Ivy's growth when it comes to her choreography, when it comes to her dancing skills. And it's so interesting that, you know, Beyonce initially didn't think that Blue Ivy was ready. And, you know, judging from what everyone else was saying when Blue Ivy first appeared on stage with Beyonce, they kind of, you know, were saying that Blue Ivy, you know, really isn't, you know, doing the choreo like they think that they should be, like that she should be. But thankfully, she is doing much better with that choreo. I love seeing her on that stage. And Rumi is such a cute little girl. She's a lot older than I expected her to be, but then I have to remember that Beyonce was pregnant with the twins over 5 years ago, I believe. And so, you know, the kids are all getting older. So that's great for me to see. And also, I just want to mention really quickly concerning Trump, and this will, you know, I'll hit it and quit it. He was interviewed by ABC News earlier this week, and you know, they were talking about the tariffs and things of that nature. Also, the photoshopped MSG or whatever it is that was photoshopped on that young man who's in that prison in El Salvador. The photoshopped gang affiliation on his fingers that was clearly photoshopped. He kept trying to push that it was not Photoshop, but he said, well, you know, this Christmas, you know, the babies will probably have only 2 dolls under the Christmas tree instead of 30. And I'm thinking to myself, what child has 30 dolls unless their parents are just got buku money, just money falling out of the ass. And anyways, that's That it is what it is. Hello, Genesita. I see you've joined us. So glad to see you, girl.
Hello. So happy to be here. Uh yeah, that's funny. Um can you hear me?
Yes, yes, I can hear you loud and clear.
I'm about to say like, hold on, why you looking like that? Can you hear me? I'm happy to be here, you guys. I feel really small though. I
Why you
really
say that?
I want to move this camera so I can get it to where I'd like it to be. And if I ask Tyrone to do it, he'll stay here for like a half an hour trying to make it right.
The entire show.
Yeah, so I'll just, buck up, you know what I'm saying? And just, let the OCD leave me. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Because it's one thing if you don't feel centered, but you said you feel small.
Yeah,
Um,
I like it to be a little bit tighter
a
in
little
this
bit closer
picture.
on you. Oh, gotcha, gotcha. Okay, because I mean, you are getting smaller, girl. I mean, them pounds is coming off, honey. Okay. We got any comments to get to?
Absolutely. Let's get started. Dustin says hi.
Hey, Dustin.
Hello, Dustin. Thank you so much for coming on up in here, Bianca.
Hey, Bianca, what's going on, B? I'm so
She
glad you're feeling better, girl. So glad you're feeling better. You sound just like yourself now, and I'm so happy for that.
She made sure to say happy Thursday to everyone and gave a great reminder to go ahead and like, subscribe, and to share. And of course, we're going to have a great time as per usual.
Absolutely.
All right, Ned, she said, hey to Dustin. And Dustin said, hey to Bianca. Hope everybody's having a great evening. We sure are, Dustin. Robin,
Hey, Auntie Robin. So glad you're here, boo.
hello, she says hi. And hey Dustin, just say hey to me. And Bianca said hello to what's that your name? Auntie Robin. Um for what you talked about real quick, I'm happy for Meg the Stallion. God bless her and all of her endeavors. And that's all I have to say about that. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
when we win, ain't nothing wrong with that.
Hey,
Uh,
hey, hey.
and the whole Beyonce thing, I did not know you needed more. Um, for as far as like, I could send you a whole heap of TikTok videos showing the whole thing, the whole
Okay,
stage
okay.
and
Wonderful.
everything. To be honest, as soon as Monday night came,
Mm.
my FYP was filled with video after video of the concert, and there was a plethora of people that actually went live, and you could pretty much just watch the whole thing from
Wow.
TikTok,
Okay.
which is how I was able to rock. I pretty much have like the whole grasp of the whole Renaissance um
You mean Cowboy
concert.
Carter?
No, Renaissance, when that came out,
Oh, oh,
that was my
okay.
first time experiencing a concert like that through TikTok, and it's like I
Mm-hmm.
just realized I was able to see the whole thing.
Wow.
I didn't
Okay.
miss anything, any of the major stuff. So, I'll make sure to send that stuff to you, and I will like to, uh, double down on the, um, the wonderfulness that is Blue Ivy and Rumi. Um it's really beautiful to see. What's that N word? Oh, what's that word? Where you boost up your children. Is it
Uh, Boost up. I know it's not nepotism.
yes, nepotism.
Oh, oh, okay.
Um, you know how people talk about nepotism and looking at it as a bad thing,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
but my favorite thing about nepotism is when you boost up your children and they are able and they are good.
Rise to the occasion, honey.
Yes,
Yes.
there's a difference between oof, child. I hate to compare the Northwest and the Blue so often, but
But it's easy to do.
it's really easy because you remember when she was singing "I Just Can't Wait to Be King" and what she was wearing. She was wearing what her mama got her instead of what they wanted her to wear, so she
Right.
did look out of place. It didn't look like she was and she did not do well. And it's like, it's one thing to do people don't like nepotism that involves people that's not doing well, that don't do the job well, when there's people around them that could have done it better. So, I'm
And when
very
it feels forced, that people don't like that either.
absolutely. Um, so one thing that I really saw a lot of this year, and it really has boosted my heart just to see that kind of nepotism with Beyonce and her daughters, with Deion Sanders and his sons, and black nepotism always makes me happy because if they do it, it's all right, even though people ain't qualified. But when we do it, oh, it's a problem.
Right.
And then it's
Okay.
us talking about it. We're talking about it. We're going against it. Like, no, no. If they can do it, we can
Right.
do it. And the difference is a lot of times when we do it, they have taught their children the way.
And when we do it, there isn't that hint of privilege that goes along with it because, we tend to make our children work for what they want and work for the accolades and work for whatever it is that they're looking for. And so, we'll get to Deion Sanders' son in a moment
Mhm.
further later on tonight. But I love to see it too as well. And sometimes you get the feeling that there's a little bit of tough love behind that, but tough love is sometimes necessary when you want the best out of your child.
Mhm.
And and afterwards your child will thank you for it, so
And
it
I
is
was
what it is.
reminded,
Anything
uh,
further?
I was reminded that when she originally asked, when Blue Ivy originally asked her mother about dancing, she originally said no. But
Right. Yeah,
eventually she
absolutely.
said, as long as you practice, get it right, go ahead and get your chance. And Beyonce didn't even want her to see those negative, thoughts about her dancing for the
Of
first time.
course.
But
Right.
of course, it happened. A friend of hers showed her, and she used that as you would hope your child would do. She used that to fight, get better, and
Motivation.
right now she's on a whole nother level. And the last thing I will say, that part with Rumi when they were doing Protector, big sister sitting over mommy, and baby
Right.
girl is right up under mommy. Like, I've I've never
And her
seen so
gold little
many.
dress, it was so cute.
It was. I've never seen so many Black women come on TikTok with tears in their eyes talking about how healing that
Mm,
is to see the innocence of that child, just getting
yeah.
up on stage and
And
just
she kept waving.
happy
She
to
kept
be there.
waving.
And she was
Yes.
hearing her name. They were in there waving at her, trying their best to make sure that she knows, oh, that she's loved. And she turned around and hugged her mama because
Right.
big sister was like, I don't know now. But it looked like she hugged her mama in just
Okay.
gratitude. I know one person was like, she turned around, hugged her mama, realizing her mama's Beyonce. But
Right. Oh, these people are here for you, huh? Okay.
okay. And I love it. I loved it. I loved it. It really blessed my heart to see. And I hope that other stars can see that and be like, yes, if your child wants this, because Sir don't want it. Okay. Sir wants to be in the house. Sir says, leave me with my iPad and keep me from all them other people right now. But, Rumi, she wants to be around her big sister and all the peepers. Okay.
Right.
And
Yes.
that's okay. And anybody trying their best to make it seem as if there is something mentally wrong or
Deficient.
deficient. Thank you, Jonathan.
Mhm.
Deficient with them. That's so nasty. Okay,
And it's just hate. That's all it is. They're
it's
just haters.
it's disgusting because
Yeah.
I know some people say, well, I've seen this and I've seen this, but you don't know. them.
Right.
And to say with your whole chest that they are having developmental issues is disgusting.
Right.
Y'all ain't no better than Kanye. So,
Exactly.
so just because you're not used to what you see does not mean that there's something wrong. And let's be real, even if there is, whose problem is that? And why is that something to point out?
Okay.
If they
And how
wanted
is it your business?
exactly. If they wanted to point it out and really talk to other families that's dealing with it, whatever it is, if there is something, that's their decision to do. If they don't want to do that, if they just want their child to be treated um, with dignity and respect, because you know what happened when Blue Ivy came out the Who's Cow, not Who's Cow, the the Hoo Ha
Out the womb. Okay.
at the Hoo Ha, okay,
Okay. People were trying to say she wasn't even in the womb, or in Beyonce's womb, at least.
exactly. And then talking about a baby's hair.
With Fantasia, it got to be real. It got to be real. Said, ain't nobody talking about Beyonce's origami baby bump.
Oh, Jesus. But um, so of course, why would Beyonce let us know anything that's going on with her children? Must let y'all come on now. Anyway, that's how I feel. I thank God for those moments. They really touch my heart.
Absolutely. Speaking of Fantasia, Fantasia announced that she will be recording a gospel album.
As she
She's
should.
recording a gospel album. And, you know, I will be very interested to hear how this sounds and to get a feel because I've seen Fantasia do gospel performances in the past, but I've never heard her have her own gospel material. And I just think that this is going to be amazing. And I cannot wait to hear it. Jennifer, it sounds like you're excited for it as well.
Absolutely. That's I said as she should because God, it's all up in her. It's all up
All
in her.
up
It's
in
all up
her.
in her voice. How would you feel if it sounded like Imagine Dragons?
Well, I know that it wouldn't because we're talking about Fantasia. However, I
However,
will
comma.
say though that I prefer my inspirational music to not sound like Imagine Dragons. Not that it doesn't hit because there are plenty of, you know,
Oh yes.
Imagine Dragon type songs that are out there that have affected moi.
Okay.
However, my preference
Come on. Be specific.
is the hand clapping and foot stomping, okay?
Jesus.
And a
And
little tambourine mixed in there too.
okay, and I don't need her to do too much of to okay. It's unfortunate. It's not unfortunate, but this is what I want because I just like you, Jonathan. We that's what we grew up on.
Right.
Um, so I guess I would call myself an old soul in this thing, or that's just what I like. I want to see her in front of a choir.
Oh yes, I saw footage of a choir recording for
Oh,
her.
ooh,
So yes, that's
if they have like a Donald Lawrence
or Ricky Dillard.
situation, especially a Ricky Dillard situation,
Okay.
and maybe just one or two kind of Kirk Franklin like situations. I'm okay
Yes.
with that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But the main thing, I need to see her singing like Donald what's the name? Derek Coley. Like
Yes.
I need to see her do some really monumental stuff. And I feel as if I have a little shade, but Imma say this. I don't need I really don't need her to work with Burrell. She can stay away.
I think I, first of all, I've never seen Fantasia with Burrell at all. I've never seen
Mhm.
her in the same room as her. And Fantasia has a whole lot of LGBTQ plus fans. And although
She or not, maybe.
right. And although Fantasia hasn't necessarily addressed us personally, I know that she knows that we out there. And I know that she knows that we support her. And I know that she knows that we ride for her.
Mhm.
So I think that she knows better than to and now it would not surprise me if Burrell tried to reach out and get on that album. However, I feel that Fantasia knows better. And I think that she knows the impact it would have if that were to happen. And you don't want anything to taint your first gospel album when we know that gospel is in your soul, girl. So I'm glad
Come
you said
on.
that though, because
And
that is a
taint is the word.
possibility.
It would be tainted.
Okay.
So yeah, no Imagine Dragon like music. Give us choir. Give us Vicky Winans. Give us, like that. You know what I'm saying? Songs like
Long as
that.
I got King Jesus,
And I want to see her
long
like
as
walk
I
around like
got
this.
King Jesus. Yeah. I don't need nobody else.
So
Don't
that's what we
need.
need. Something like that.
Right. Any comments before we move on to the next topic, girl?
Yes. Unveiled Vibrations, but TD McCullum says, Happy Thursday, everyone.
Awesome. Awesome. So, as we reported, okay, come on, news station, as we reported
Ah,
last week, Kanye West released a song called Cousins, explaining that, he had some dealings with his cousin back in the day. Boosie decided to react to that. He said that, something's really wrong with Kanye, something's going on with Kanye. He said that he was scared for Kanye. Um, and then Kanye came back, and Kanye said that Boosie sounds poor, or something along those lines. And
that's what he said.
and but here's my thing, Jennifer. As much as I don't care for Boosie, I don't know if there's a side to choose in this
Yeah,
situation
there is.
when.
Go ahead.
Oh, okay. Because it's like Boosie knows that he did not have to put out what he put out. And he knows that Kanye is about that life. He don't give a damn what anybody says. He's going to speak his opinion and he's going to come for you if you come for him.
Mhm.
So I think Boosie did this knowing that Kanye was going to respond. Um, and I haven't well, Boosie probably did respond to what Kanye said. I didn't hear what exactly his response was to that, but I'm not mad at Kanye for what he said, even though Boosie clearly is not poor. Boosie clearly is living his best life.
Clearly.
Since Wipe Me Down, still living his best
Doing
life.
something right with his money.
Right. Exactly. Something right with his money. I'm sure he probably does a lot of touring to, different venues and things of that nature. But I can't say that I would be mad at Kanye for his response to what Boosie said, because Kanye feels as though that is his story, whether you believe it's true or not. Kanye believes that that is his story, and yeah, it is what it is. But feelings get hurt all the time in this rap game. So it is what it is. Jennifer, what was your response when you saw that video of Kanye saying that Boozy sounds poor?
I love it when we have a difference of opinion.
Okay.
So I didn't see much wrong with what Boosie said.
Hmm.
He didn't he didn't come with the usual
Agreed.
vigor. You know what I'm
Agreed.
saying?
Yeah.
He said, "Y'all, okay, we
He
get
was
it now."
treading lightly. He was treading lightly.
And because we've seen him respond or talk about stuff previously.
Hmm.
So personally, I'm not saying it wasn't warranted, but it's like it really did sound like Boozy was just trying to be like, "Hey,
You okay?
that's it. That's literally it." And he has plenty of grounds to ask, "Are you okay?" Because even Kanye himself talk about the fact that excuse me, let me not say the fact, because allegedly he's not okay. So for him to react the way he did, Kanye, he was doing a lot, but I believe he was doing a lot just so he can continue the story.
Right.
Rather, I think it was Kanye continuing the story, not
Mm.
Boosie. Kanye put that cousin's song out to be seen or to try to. Oh, well, I don't know. Are you going to talk about Diddy and the trial?
I will. Yes, I will. I was actually going to do that as my first real story, but I decided to talk about Kanye first. But that can be the next story.
Okay, well, just going into it, the
Okay. So Diddy was offered a plea deal on his federal charges, his federal S trafficking charges, and he has declined the deal. Now, this tells me that either Diddy doesn't care about all of the facts that are going to come out as a result of this trial being as public as well. It's not going to be a public trial because it will be behind closed doors. We won't be able to see.
It's gonna be public eventually, though.
Well, yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, we'll be able to see this transcripts. We'll be able to hear everything that is happening in the courtroom. We just won't be able to see it visually. However, and I can't wait to see the courtroom drawings to see how they draw everything because that will be, I'm sure that'll be a little bit hilarious. But anyways, and so to me, it seems like either Diddy really feels like, because his lawyer came out and said that Diddy was a swinger. And so I'm assuming that he feels as though these are the actions of your average, everyday, regular, specular swinger. They like to have sexual relations with whomever is available.
Okay.
And that's okay for them, allegedly. But to me, it seems like Diddy is just doubling down on his lifestyle, feeling as though everything that he does in his life is okay, with the exception of that Cassie video that he apologized for. But to me, it seems as though he's doubling down because he sees nothing wrong, absolutely nothing wrong with what he did. And I think he feels as though if he were to plead guilty, that would be admitting to his actions actually being wrong, where he was just trying to have, trying to get his D wet. Nah, I mean, okay. Jennifer, what are your thoughts on Diddy? On Diddy denying the guilty plea, and was that what you were expecting me to bring up?
Yeah.
Okay,
That's
okay,
what I needed. That's what I'm looking for right there.
gotcha.
So, from what I've heard, and actually, I sent you a video. I know it was too late, but I sent you a video talking about that very thing, right?
Okay,
Um, and what they're trying to go for, Jonathan, is that he was. One person said he was lathering himself up. That's the way they say it. But he was lathering himself up with so much baby oil and stuff like that that was mixed in with whatever illicit narcotics that was in it, allegedly. That his,
GHB,
mhm,
HGT, child,
okay,
PCP, whatever.
all that, okay, narcotics, okay,
Okay, illegal drug.
illegal drugs. That that he basically was not of sound mind to make those decisions.
Hmm.
That's what they're going for. Basically saying that he ain't together enough to be able to do all of that, or he wasn't in sound mind enough to do all those things knowingly. So they're trying
Gotcha.
to make it, trying to put it on like, these drugs have affected his brain for all these years, all these narcotics, and that's what they're trying to say, right?
Wow.
And to get back to what I was gonna say about, what I was talking about with, Kanye,
Hmm.
so people are alleging or believe that since now that it's come out that, the plea deal was dropped, well, not dropped, but he r did
He
not want to
declined it.
go along with that
Right.
because, that would have said that he'd have to be in jail and stuff like that, and I think he's trying to not have jail at all.
Makes sense.
So, he's
Makes sense.
making a leap. That's what it feels
Right.
like, right?
Yeah.
So, people believe, and of course, this is all alleged, but
Hmm.
people believe people are trying to distance themselves, back out, trying to make themselves look that's what somebody's saying about Kanye these days, he's trying to make himself look a little bit more
A little more
unraveled,
cuckoo. Yes.
um, because he might come up looking crazy, looking bad
Gotcha.
in
In the
things that he
trial.
might have, yeah, different things that he might have
Gotcha.
allegedly, supposedly, I don't know, done with,
Participated in. Yeah.
participated in.
Hmm.
Um, and now I don't, what? I'm not gonna say those words. I'm not gonna say those words. I'm gonna tell you that offer because the Holy Spirit said,
No. Mercy said no. I'm not gonna let you go.
Shut up, Jennifer. And that I will do because I listens to the Holy Spirit. But yes, they're trying to look at other people and their movements and how they're moving
Mhm.
based upon this happening. May. Oh yeah, we're in the month of May
We're
now.
in the month of May. It's about to happen. It's coming. It's coming soon.
I think it's is it bad to say that I'm excited? I don't know, but I
That's
am.
not bad. If you're excited about it, girl, you excited. I want to know the tea, honey. I want to know
That's
the
what I
tea.
want
I
to
want
know.
it. I know that there are going to be some names that are going to be name dropped in all of these allegations and things of that nature. And so, I mean, because these people got tea that are that
Yeah,
that are bringing these lawsuits against him. And so, um, but what I'm most looking forward to is Cassie Ventura's testimony.
she's gonna be on the stand.
She's going to be on the stand,
Her
and
with 20 others, and
right, and
I
other
applaud
Jane
her.
Does and things of that nature. And I don't think that it will affect her negatively, although she will be in the same room with her previous abuser. Can I say that on YouTube? I think. Um,
I think you're fine. Yeah.
but yeah, that's what I'm looking forward to. What she will say on the stand, and she will be okay in cross examination because she's telling the truth, her truth.
Come on now, come on.
So I'm definitely looking forward to that.
And you know what, Jonathan? Once again, see, I'm gonna have to really keep you up with the TikTok because that's the stuff I know. That's gonna be all over. Well, everything's all over TikTok, but
Right.
it's gonna be major. So I gotta make a list. Beyonce and everything. The trial. Uh,
Everything data related. Yes.
yeah. Um, TD McCullum's unveiled vibrations.
Mm.
What TD McCullum says. To Kanye, Boozy is not as well off as him, thus poor. Yeah, I understand that, but
Yeah.
it's like, I was kind of surprised that he even responded. That's how I feel.
I was surprised too. I was thinking that Kanye would feel like Boosie is beneath him. Like, he doesn't have to talk to I'm not saying that Boosie is a peasant, but a peasant,
Mm-mm.
compared to his accolades and accomplishments. So
And for me, that speaks yet again to him just looking for some more attention because Boozy
right.
in the social medias, he's big. So of course I'm going to try to go back and forth with him to get some more attention.
Exactly. Because people gonna see what I got to say to that Negro.
Mhm. Hi, Miss Kim.
Greetings and salutations, Miss Kim. Good evening. Hope you're feeling
Welcome.
better.
She says, "Hey y'all, just dropped my mom off after seeing Sinners."
Ooh, okay. All
Uh,
right.
and T.D. McCullum says, "The diddler thinks he can wiggle his way out of this. We shall see." Mm.
The
And
diddler.
he also says, "Hey, you've been sinnervized, Miss Kim. Looking forward to hearing your thoughts on the movie."
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, next on the docket,
Mhm.
Terrence Howard was doing an interview. Not exactly sure who was doing the interview with. Oh, Jennifer, I already saw the eye rolling already. And so he said that he was approached to play Marvin Gaye in a biopic. Now, that's confusing to me because Terrence don't look nothing like nobody's Marvin Gaye. I can't see why anyone would look to
Child,
him
I
to play
guess.
Marvin Gaye. I mean, can he hold a tune? Yes, but he can't sing like Marvin Gaye. I guess they could use Marvin Gaye. Anyways, so he said that he turned down the role because Quincy Jones told him that Marvin Gaye was allegedly, this is alleged, even though Terrence Howard didn't say allegedly, but Quincy allegedly told Terrence that Marvin Gaye was allegedly gay. And so therefore, Terrence Howard said, "Oh, if he's gay, then that must mean that they want me to kiss a nigga." And I ain't kissing no nigga at all. He said his words were he would cut his lips off. I think he was interviewing with Bill Maher, if I'm not mistaken. I saw the interview with Bill Maher. Um,
I'm not surprised he would share
Right.
that
And
with him.
Bill
He
Maher said,
really don't.
he don't want to kiss a man either, which I get it. If you are heterosexual, you have no desire to kiss a man. I get that. However, when you are acting, if the role is good, if it's But if a heterosexual man does not want to play gay and he's uncomfortable with that, I completely understand why you would not want to play that role. I get it. I give props to every heterosexual man or any man in particular or in general who decides to take on a gay role, because you know that there will be backlash to go along with it. But here's my thing. Um, I'm not I'm not that offended by what Terrence Howard said. I don't think that this means that he's necessarily that he's um, homophobic in any way. He's never said anything in my as far as what I can remember. I've never heard him say anything that's homophobic. I don't think he has any issues with those of us in the LGBTQIA plus community. However, as much as and maybe it's because Terrence Howard may see himself as a method actor, and those actors really embody
Immerse
their
them.
roles, and
Mhm.
they truly become the person that they are playing. And so I guess Terrence Howard's fear is that if he were to take the role, he'd really have to put himself in those shoes. And I don't know if it's fear or he just don't want to do
It
it. And
just
that's
it just
just
sounds like that's just a boundary, that's all.
right, exactly. And so yeah, but I was surprised to hear him say, especially for him to say he would cut his lips off. Like, to me that's a little offensive to
Now
me.
that's what takes it
That's
into homophobia for me,
right. Yeah.
because it's one thing to have a boundary and say, "Hey, that's not for me," and if that's something that they would require of me, I will not be I can't move forward with doing it.
Right.
And for him to go even further that way, it shows to me homophobia. It's like it's why would you think that far? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's like nobody's gonna make it happen. You were able to say no, right? So
Hmm.
why are you still like going so far into the story in your mind and your heart as if, what if it would happen? It's like you already said no, right? So why you feel like you need to put more stipulations upon it. So I get what he's saying, but it's not even his delivery. It's his whole thought process. I think it's weird. It's okay to have. I think maybe he's talked to too many people that don't agree with boundaries. Maybe that's what it is. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Maybe he's felt like he's needed to say, "Well, I'd rather do this than do this." You know what I'm saying? Like maybe he's felt like he's had to like really put 20 on 10 just to make sure somebody understands something.
And it would not surprise me if he were approached via DMs by gay men because of his visual aesthetic, because of the way he looks. He's a very handsome man. He has gorgeous eyes.
Mhm.
He's got a lot of wagging that he's dragging, y'all. Okay, and that's what the boys like, honey. So it would not surprise me if that put him in a space of fear, in some way, shape, or form. Um, I understand why he might be uncomfortable with that. I understand why some heterosexual men may be uncomfortable with that. To be honest, I feel bad for heterosexual men who are approached by gay men in the DMs and things of that nature. And those gay men a lot of times know that those straight men don't want that at all, but they just shooting their shot, just trying to putting their line out in the water to see someone's gonna catch. Like, you know what I'm saying? So my apologies on behalf of the LGBTQIA plus community to any heterosexual man that has received those unwarranted D pics or messages from us because they're trying to holler at you. Go ahead, Jennifer.
I kind of don't feel bad, and I tell you why.
Why?
A straight man that's being hit on, I start to think like, maybe if you take it negatively, because you know who you are, you know what
Right.
I'm saying?
Mhm.
So I think it's not a problem for a man that knows who they are, a man that is confident in who they are, and is able to say, "Dude, no, thank you." I understand why you have the apology because I can imagine it's. it can be annoying
Right.
with that because that's not who I am. But yeah, I, I
I personally feel like those straight men should take it as a compliment.
yes,
However, I understand why a heterosexual man would be uncomfortable with receiving those things. And that uncomfortability is because of the culture concerning the LGBTQIA plus community. It's the culture that has made us look like a certain thing, made us look like something that we are not. And so, it's such a balancing act when it comes to this LGBTQIA plus thing. It's such a balancing act. But yeah, I applaud Terrence Howard for sharing his truth, and he's always been open about
oh yeah,
everything
how
in
he
his life.
feels.
So I shouldn't be surprised that he was able to share that with us. Go ahead and read that comment, Genesita.
Miss Kim says a light skinned Marvin Gaye. We don't want it.
Right.
I agree. Bianca says, "Show don't, Miss Kim. I love Marvin down." Yeah,
Down.
but see, if they give the people, the right people, the money to do it, you know what I'm saying? They could really have a good situation on their hands.
I still to this day want Tyrese to play Teddy Pendergrass. I'm still looking for that movie, and
I
I still
agree.
want it to happen for real, for real.
I agree. I believe he's going to continue to push until it happens for sure.
I hope so because I think he'd be amazing. He'd be perfect for it.
Miss Kim says Marvin Gaye was very free. His dad was a cross dresser, and that side of his family was very fluid. Free
I
man.
had I had no idea about that. I did not know about that. Okay,
Um, T.D. McCullum says, "Hell no, Terrence Howard as Marvin Gaye, cap, no way. Terrence
Cap.
Terrence Howard in the same boat as Shannon Sharp. Oh Lord, what do you mean? He got to shout from the mountains that yeah. Okay, I understand. He said he
Okay,
got to shout
yeah,
from the mountains that they're not gay. Okay.
yeah. I-
I hear you. I hear you. Miss Kim says Terrence is pretty to look at and all. That voice drives oh that voice drives me right on up.
right on up the flagpole, honey. Right on up it to the top.
uh, Bianca says, I was about to say that, Jonathan. The question is, why, if he took this role, no heterosexual men judge them after that. It's a role. They don't have to interact for real. So what's the problem? And I agree. And once again, if that's something that you just don't want to do, then
Right.
don't do it.
Don't do it.
Okay. Um, and he could have left that story there. Don't have to. Anyway,
He
I'm
really
sorry.
could have.
He
Like
he, he
nobody
really
needed to know that, especially when
nobody.
you're outing someone who's no longer with us.
Come
Because
on.
I mean, I'd heard those rumors before, but someone like Quincy Jones telling him that gives us the leadway to further believe that that is true. But it is what it
Hmm.
is.
T.D. McCullum says culture made it a problem because that door is open. People will never let it go. Mm,
You're
yeah.
right about that.
Bianca says I think October London would play Marvin well. He light skinned too though, but he would sound good though. Maybe he needs to be the voice when they find somebody chocolate enough to play the man.
Chocolate. We need chocolate. Milk chocolate.
Unveiled, gosh, Cheetah McCullum says, yes, Bianca. And he also says he would be perfect for it. Yeah, he sounds just like him. October London sounds just like Marvin Gaye. And even listening to his music, like current music now, he sounds like Marvin Gaye with the new song that came out.
Yeah.
That's what he sounds
Wow.
like.
Okay.
And Miss Kim said, I heard Chrissy got down too. That's what a lot of people heard.
Who?
Quincy.
Well, yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
Just enjoying life.
Absolutely. I mean, to be honest, I feel like Quincy might have been in the same boat as far as sexuality is concerned as Diddy might probably is. Like, whatever's there, whomever comes to be, however it presents itself, I'm open to it if I'm attracted to it.
I wouldn't put him in the same category as Diddy.
Well, Diddy has control and drugs and,
There
things
we
of that
go.
nature,
It's control. He
with
wants to
him. Yeah.
dominate people
Yeah.
that in a right mind wouldn't necessarily do it. I'd liken Quincy to believe that he was getting with people that wanna get with him.
Right.
Because
Yeah.
when you look at Diddy face, and
Jennifer,
then
I
got
still remember the first time I saw
without glasses.
Puff Daddy without glasses. And
Sheesh.
I said, put them things right back on. And
Right
it
now.
seems like ever since he took them off, he hasn't put them back on at all.
Mhm.
Ever.
Because anywho, yeah, with and all them straight men that never would have, that's what he was doing allegedly.
Okay.
So
That's who you need to be scared of, Terrence. Okay.
and
And
shoot, he
and
was in
and
the devil's lair.
okay. He did mention something about Diddy before. I can't remember exactly what he said concerning the man,
Oh,
but
I'll tell you. So what
okay.
had happened was he said that he was invited when that's back when
Oh
he was
yeah.
called Puff. Okay.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
was invited to Puff's place to assist with acting techniques. And
Hmm.
he said all he would do was just sit there and stare at him
Just stare at him.
with them beady little eyes.
Okay, not little. They ain't little to me. They beady big ol' eyes to
Well,
me.
they a little close together.
Okay, okay.
Oh, anyway,
Thank you for the demonstration, honey. In case
I'm
we
here
didn't
for
pick
you.
up on it verbally.
Yes, they're close together. And then he invited him again, like to play the guitar, help, with some music, showing some music and stuff like that. He's once again sat there and stared at him. And it was he must be aloof because his assistant had to be like, yeah, I think you're trying to F. It's like,
Right.
oh, okay. Well, we don't need to answer those calls no
Well,
more.
but that's probably because Terrence didn't expect that. He probably just thought that something was wrong with Diddy. Maybe something he had some going on with
But
him.
just sitting there staring at you while I'm over here trying to come on.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, but then again, I gotta give it to dudes. They are usually rather uh unaware of people that are trying to get with
Very
them,
much so.
no matter
Absolutely.
whether or not they want to be them with them or not. Like, having to tell like somebody has to be seeing it from the outside looking in to be like,
Right. Yeah, they
"Who's
want you.
flirting with you?"
They want you.
Oh,
They
oh,
want
okay. Well,
you.
I don't want that.
They want you bad. I mean, hey, like I said, Terrence is a very extremely handsome man. Beautiful eyes, beautiful skin tone. Got body, honey. Okay, for days. Like I said, a lot of wagging that man dragging, honey.
What? Uh, Miss Kim says, Jesse L. Martin supposed to play Marvin. And I'm looking him up right now. S.E. L. Martin. Oh no, he must be playing the older version.
Oh, is he old man?
Oh, is he old? He's older, but you
Older.
know
Okay.
exactly who he is. I'ma share this screen with you so that you can see. And while I'm doing that, well, it won't take long. I got it almost got up right now. All right. So, oh wait, I'm not sharing. Sorry. Let me click it one more time.
You good? You dealing with the new setup? I understand. I understand.
Okay, let me try to.
Yeah, just click on one. He looks familiar. Oh, oh, that's the man from Law and Order. Okay,
That man. This,
gotcha.
this is when he was younger. Rent days. Okay.
Okay.
525,600 minutes. All right. That's
Yeah,
enough.
I'd say he might be maybe a little too old.
He would have to do grown Marvin.
Right. He does look a little bit like Marvin Gaye. I will give him that.
Oh yes, absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
visually.
They should have got that money together for that movie a little bit earlier so
A
he can
little earlier.
because he's a singer too, like Rent, on
I
Broadway.
had
So he
no
sang too.
idea. Okay.
Yeah, because he was on Rent, the Broadway play.
I'm picking up on it now. Thank you.
Wait, hold on. Okay, hold on. Okay. I'm sorry.
I thought you would stop the live, honey. I was like, wait a minute, what's going on?
Oh gosh, TD McCullum says I was unaware that Jennifer wanted me. See?
Wow.
And I'm not even gonna go there. Miss Kim says he was signed on years ago to play Marvin. I believe it. She
Okay.
said he can sing too. Yep, I know. Uh, Robin says, "Stop it, Jen. What I do?" Um, and she said that man from Law and Order can sing too. Um, Robin said Jesse is the truth. SVU. That's what Robin
Yes,
says.
SVU.
And also, Miss Robin says, and Jesse has that talent. Oh yeah, has the talent for sure. Okay, I'm done.
All right, so we're finally getting to Shador Sanders. So Shador Sanders, he is Deion Sanders' son. He is a quarterback. And it was very surprising to see that Shador was not picked up in the first round. He was actually picked up by the Cleveland Browns in the fifth round. Now, I will say that when it comes to quarterbacks, a lot of times teams already have a quarterback. So unless they're actually looking for a quarterback to sign or to get drafted, then they're not going to go for that. They're going to go for other positions. So I personally was not surprised that it took him so long to get drafted. Also, the White House is feeling like because the president tweeted out that he was surprised that he hadn't been drafted yet, that he was the reason why Shador was actually eventually. We not ain't nobody believing that, but y'all. Okay. Anyways, however, the son of the defensive coordinator for the Atlanta Falcons, Jeff Ubridge, his son prank called Shador acting as though Shador had been drafted because he found Shador's information in his father's laptop or something of that nature, in his information. And I didn't want to watch the video. I have not seen the
Oh
video.
no, I
I
refuse.
I don't want to watch it. I don't want to see that at all. That is so cruel and so mean, so
Disgusting.
ugly. Yes, the
Racist.
young man has apologized. He said that he spoke to Shador over the phone. He also released a public apology on Instagram. The actual defensive coordinator, Jeff Ubridge, he did a press conference
And he
apologizing
being
as
fined
he's being fined $350,000.
as he should.
Not only he, but the Atlanta Falcons themselves, the actual franchise is being fined $350,000 for them doing that. And
Hmm.
I just it's so petty and so, like I said, so ugly for them to do that to that young man. And Shador has had to defend his um what some would say is arrogance, what some would say is ego, what some would say is a braggadocious type of thing. But do you know who his father is? And
Come on,
do you not understand where he has gotten it from?
come on,
And this young man has a reason to have the confidence that he does has, because I see it as confidence. I can understand why it may be a little bit off-putting, because not all athletes have the same attitude concerning themselves and their abilities. So I understand why it might be look a little abrasive to you. However, he's confident in his abilities and he's confident in what he can do, and he feels as though he is perfect for the NFL. Now, I truly do hope that Shador will be able to transition into the NFL, not having his father as a coach um, in his space all of the time. I hope that he'll be able to manage and do well. But I'm so happy for him. I'm so happy that he's living out his dreams. And I think he'll be okay regardless of what happens. Me not having as much information on the NFL as I used to have, I still do know that the Cleveland Browns have not been good for a long time. However, hopefully Shador can bring some energy into the team, can bring a little bit of confidence into the team as well. I think it might be interesting. Now, he will be a backup quarterback, so he will not be starting with the Cleveland Browns. He'll only be a backup. However, hopefully, he'll be able to find his footing there as well. But Jennifer, what were your thoughts when you heard that about that prank call, and why did you decide not to watch it? Because I didn't want to watch it because of the secondhand embarrassment that I don't know, if he found out that it was a fake call during the video. I don't want to know any of the details. But what were your thoughts when you heard that happened?
Um, I don't watch stuff. I don't watch mean stuff like that.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Um, to I just okay. I personally see it as racist.
Very,
Um,
very, very that.
so I'm not going to indulge in something like that. It's something that's going to piss me off further.
Right.
So the only thing that I just read what happened is like, wow, thank God what I read was after, you
Hmm.
know, they have been assessed their 300 something high $1,000 fine that had to be paid.
Hmm.
Um and looking at that man's face, I can see the disappointment in whoever took that information from him.
Hmm.
I know it looked like he might have put fists to face doing some foolish, and then on top of that, you recording it. And then on top of that, you putting it out there for people to see.
Right.
Not only are you a horrible person, but you're stupid too. It's not it's never been a cool look for that. So I'm just happy that the NFL worked quickly with that.
Hmm.
To be honest, I do believe personally that they did their best to blackball that young man.
Yes.
Um because of him being just a good black man that could be playing the footballs, okay? That does the touchdowns and the home runs. Um, I'm just playing.
I hope so.
But, you know, when I was talking about nepotism in the beginning, you know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? Like I said, that's my kind of nepotism right there. You
Yeah.
teach your child the way and you boost put shoot, use whatever you got to your name, your people's name, and all these other names.
Hmm.
Get your people where they need to be. And the nastiness that they were saying is that the only way that he's gonna succeed is if he has Dion in his ear. And they're acting as if, he wouldn't be able to separate from his father
Right.
to be coached by somebody else. So I think it is nice that somebody gave him a chance.
Hmm.
And I love that they love Jesus. I love
Yes.
that he has a good attitude and a good head on his shoulders because he was brought up by some decent parents. Now his mama did some crazy stuff back in the day, but maybe she repented and and maybe she's good now. But
Okay.
but you can tell that we've been raised with some sense,
Hmm.
okay? And a standard of having sense.
Right.
So I liked him not even showing like, hey, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? I get what I get and
Hmm.
I'll show you. You know what I'm saying? That is a good question, Miss Kim. Miss Kim asks, "Is Pilar is his mama?"
I'm not sure because I feel like Pilar what came later on in Dion's life, but I don't know.
Uh, how you spell it? Shadir, Shed.
Hold on. I'm a
Okay.
coming.
Yes, yes, that is
Okay.
his mother. They made some pretty babies. Praise God. Um.
Absolutely.
All right. So let me go to the chat here. Yes. Miss Robbins said the original cast. Dag nabbit. Yes, she was original cast of Rent.
Okay.
Oh gosh. Anyway, Miss Kim says, I keep hearing the name Shadir Sanders. I don't pay much attention to sports ball talk.
I understand. I understand, Miss Kim. I do understand where you're coming from.
No worries. Robert says, how did all of those wide receivers from his team get drafted? Because they were wide receivers, not quarterbacks. That's why.
Exactly. It's that's how it goes. Quarterbacks, there's only one starting quarterback in every team. Multiple starting positions for like every other position, but it's only one quarterback. So
Mhm.
that's why again I was not surprised that he did not get picked until the fifth round. It's not surprising
Basically
at all to
taking
me.
taking a chance on somebody,
Tom
really.
Brady wasn't picked until like the fifth or sixth round. So that's how it goes for quarterbacks
It's
typically.
it's a it's a quarterback thing.
Yeah.
Miss Kim says, "Is it arrogance or confidence?"
It's confidence. It's definitely confidence, in my opinion.
As it should be. He's a good looking young man that's out here in these streets with a good head on his shoulders. Yeah, he confident. Um, Dustin says, "Congratulations to everybody that was chosen in the 2025 NFL. I love the sports season. I can see. I love the football season, so I can't wait to see what the season is going to burn. I'm excited too. I just want to
Yeah.
see what he's going to do. I want to see, man, because a lot of time, unfortunately, that's just a thing for Black people. You got to show them.
Yeah, you do. You got to show improve. But the thing is, Deion Sanders showed improve, and people still hated so
Still,
hard on him.
everybody but
But it was
Colorado though.
right. It was because of his confidence. They couldn't handle that. They can't
Still can't
handle
handle them
they want to be. They want us to be humble, and and yes, Deion is like. I don't understand why people don't see the humility in his confidence. I don't understand why people don't see
because
that.
it's intertwined all up in and through that. But
Yeah.
haters hear what they want to hear.
Right,
They're
exactly.
not gonna be able to find it, child. Or they can't even find a good person within them. Like, just seeing stories about how they bought some of the biggest fans of, that Colorado University or whatever, up
Right.
into the place.
Back
The
to the place. The niggas wasn't
Yeah,
going to the games, okay?
okay.
For what?
And I saw this elderly woman, let's see, elderly Caucasian woman that loved the school, that loved Deion Sanders. He
Mhm.
brought her up into the locker
Presidential
room and
suite?
everything, into the locker
Okay.
room and everything, like, just real good, and it's like, how are you so pissed off at somebody like that? God bless. Anyway, Dustin says, "Have a good night, I love you."
Good night, Dustin.
Love you too. Miss Kim said, "Oh yeah, we already answered that." And TD McCullum says, "I saw it originally. It didn't look real. It looked like a skit.
Mm,
To find out that it was real and done by the son of an NFL coach was horrible. It was a bad joke. I hope Sanders gets Rookie of the Year. Okay, shoot, give
right.
him something, cause
Yeah.
y'all. Mm-mm. Okay,
That
go
was
on.
terrible. That was
Terrible.
terrible,
To
especially
replay.
when he's already been waiting. I think, they had
Come
probably already
on.
gotten past the first or second round, like, oh, so ugly, so ugly. Anyways, child, that's our time, honey. Jennifer, go ahead and give us your social media contacts real quick. That hour went by fast.
As per usual.
Yes.
But yeah, I'll make sure I need to send you some more Diddy stuff, Diddy predictions. That I think that's what I need to do.
Okay.
What am I doing? Oh yes, I am Delight of the Leo. Go ahead and follow me on TikTok and Instagram, and also on YouTube. Look up Delight of the Leo on YouTube, and you'll be able to see my channel. And we go live there every Monday at 9 p.m. after I get off work, so I can have a little break. Anyway, and we're also on Faithful Warrior Ministries every single Saturday at 10-ish a.m. Please join us. We have a good time every single Saturday morning. Won't you join us?
I've always loved that tagline. Won't you join us? You guys can follow me on Instagram. My Instagram is jojo_speaks3020. My Facebook is Jonathan Lee. My email is williamjonathanlee@gmail.com. My Cash App is $Jonathan Lee 07. That's $JONATHANLEE 07. Thank y'all once again for joining us. Once again, be sure to check out my Housewives of Atlanta review for season 16, episode 8. Again, that is up on my channel now. Look out for my Survivor review that will be posted tomorrow by 5 p.m. at the latest. So be sure to look out for that as well. Thank y'all once again for joining us. I love you guys for watching. You guys are what makes this show. And I love y'all for that. I really do love y'all for that. This is my highlight of the week, y'all. So thank y'all so much for joining me. Join us next week. Same time, same place, same beautiful faces. Until then, we'll say bye for now. Y'all have a wonderful weekend. Stay safe out there. Love you guys for watching. See you later, y'all. Bye.